Hey guys, this is KSP with Tape, and today you join me for episode 23 of Solar Civilization, and it's time to go to Eve, because I've been building this spacecraft for a very long time, over a ridiculous amount of episodes, so it's probably best that I just go to Eve now. And the window is here. It says 3 days away on the Kerbal alarm clock, but I've got an encounter now, which goes quite nicely. Actually, my first nuclear-powered manned spacecraft to leave the Kerbin system, because the Duna Explorer, which will be in this episode quite heavily, that was using chemical rockets because at the time I didn't have nuclear engines. It was kind of forced together. I just built the biggest and best spacecraft I could build. I did a quick test burn, and it's showing that it'll only take 9 minutes. That's better than I thought it would be, so I won't be too far from the maneuver node, which will mean I won't have to spend too much time burning downwards, because then I kind of deorbit, and that's bad. Um, but yeah, this is still using small docking ports because I haven't unlocked big ones yet because I haven't really been doing enough science, but I will be doing much more science in this episode. So it's using the Kerbal attachment system struts because kind of cheating. Well, not cheating, just I was using Kerbal attachment system anyway, and I was like, hey, this is useful. I do like Kerbal attachment system, but it's pretty glitchy right now. Um, I think the mods are slowly getting up to date with the new update. That is a problem though when you're using so many mods. So that's kind of why this has slowed down recently as Solar Civilization. Although I haven't really been doing them as much as I used to. Kind of once a week I aim for, which seems good. Because I'm also doing Being SpaceX. I do too many KSP series. I kind of, yeah, I don't know. I quite like doing them though, and this is going to get more. Well, I keep meaning to do more base-orientated stuff because it's solar civilization, not solar exploration. So I should be putting bases places, and I will be, hopefully. Although I do say that a lot. But I've got ideas for moon bases, and I was gonna, on the next Joule window, send a base kit out to Joule, but that's 43 days away, and I have massive ideas for a Joule base, so that won't be that transfer window, but hopefully the next one. Or maybe I'll have, I was going to say unlock the technology to go there fast, but I don't have Interstellar, so it's not like I'm going to be able to warp there, is it? Um, but anyway, we just need to kind of keep burning, and this takes a while. This is sped up to 4 times time accelerate, but it still takes quite a while because it's a really long burn. Yeah, that's only 1,000 delta V because it's quite easy to get to Eve and very easy to get back and very quick going to Eve because you're accelerating down. Oh, and I just flicked to the debris there, and you can see I have loads. So I'm really getting some Kessler syndrome. I tried to delete ships. I don't want in orbit. Although I do actually quite like the idea of having an ion-powered kind of deorbiter. But I have tried that before, and it's kind of tedious and not that interesting. But I just delete the stuff I don't want. But I leave the debris in orbit because Kessler syndrome's nice. And well, it's not nice, but it's interesting more than anything else. And I like tabbing over things and seeing what I've been doing. Yeah, I do get a moon encounter on the way out, and it took me ages to plan this because I kept getting moon encounters, and that kind of annoyed me. But I kind of got around it by placing another maneuver node, which kind of showed me where I'd be, so it worked out fine. I will need to do a fine tune, but I have loads of delta V in the spacecraft because I have quite a lot of fuel and nuclear engines, so you know. But I want to be going to Gilly as well, so I have a little Gilly lander. But I'll just leave myself in an orbit that means I don't have to burn to Gilly. I just kind of intersect it. But anyway, we have our moon encounter, and interesting this is because usually to get to the moon it takes quite a few hours. In real life, a few days. But in Kerbal Space Program, it takes a few hours. But you can see going at these velocities, it only takes when I get up to speed, it only takes about an hour to get there. So that's an interesting way of thinking about speeding up my way to the moon. But I never really have a problem. It's never like, ooh, 4 hours. That's a really long time. If it took me 4 hours to get places, that's like a drive to Wales from here. God forbid I drive to Wales. No, I actually go there a lot. I have lots of family in Wales, but you know, I try to stay out of it. That was mean. Wales isn't that bad. Although I think most of my viewers are in America, so it's all Britain to you. Wow, offending everyone today. Jeez. Got my results. Not in a good mood. I should, yeah. Let's not talk about that. Anyway, I've done my burn. I'll stop insulting people. And it's looking good. So I'll just set Oh, I'll delete that apparently. Yeah, no, I'll warp out of the system so I can get it more accurate. God, I hope I put a maneuver node down, or I can just do it now. That's a good thing about having footage. Oh yeah, I just need to do a quick fine tune, and then I get a nice encounter with Eve, which is nice. And using this is actually, I've changed the conic patch mode. I never really mention it, but I've set it. You can go into the settings file in Kerbal Space Program and change the conic patch mode so you can see where you're actually going to be around the planet, which is very useful for fine tuning your maneuver. But anyway, I must put the maneuver node down, and now it's time to get to Duna. I sent this a while ago, like a really long time ago, so it's good time that we get here. It's been a while, but we are here. It takes a while to travel through space, and I've been doing so many other things that I wasn't just going to warp through it. That's kind of boring, I feel. Yeah, anyway, this is the spacecraft. It has detachable tanks on the side, as you can see. You probably haven't seen the spacecraft in a long time, but yeah, it's using some KW engines. Anyway, I'm just going to get some science from high above Duna. I'm getting quite a bit. I'm transmitting back what I can, which anything that gives me 100% on transmission, I transmit back, but everything else I just kind of keep. I only have one materials bay that I can use in orbit, and I'm going to keep that for low orbit, I think. I don't have a lab or much science because I didn't have a huge amount of delta V because, well, I am not using nuclear engines. But anyway, let's fine-tune it. Oh no, I don't need to fine-tune, I need to plan. I do tend to plan these, and I could get an icon counter there, but it would throw me off into interplanetary space, and I kind of want to stay around Duna for a while. That was kind of the plan. I'm going to leave myself in this eccentric orbit. Not eccentric. Yeah, eccentric. That's what I was going for. Because then I can get to Ike easily, and it's less delta V to leave, although it will be in the wrong position. It's mainly so I don't have to do a big burn to get to Ike, because there's no point. I'll just leave myself in this position. Will be kind of annoying landing on Duna. Didn't take that into account. Maybe I'll land on Ike first. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I haven't planned this through. I'm not NASA. But yeah, I haven't seen Jebediah Kerman or Bob Kerman in a while, and Franklin. Yeah, you haven't seen these guys in a while because they've been busy traveling through space in a small capsule. But I include the habitation module because realistically, you are going to want habitation. The Orion project, I believe, although I'm not fully sure, I haven't really seen it confirmed much. But that will have a big habitation thing on it because it would be a bit annoying going through space for like 2 years in just a capsule. I wasn't aware of that, but someone made me aware of it in a comment in one of my videos. So whoever you are, thank you for that. If you are watching this and remember doing that. Now I know more about Orion. Anyway, Duna's looking a bit bright. I think it's just because of the ambient light, but I did turn it down a bit. And I don't know if that's in the video or in real life. Someone just came onto Skype. I would assume it's in real life. Yes, they are. Okay, I'll just ignore them. Sorry, I was worried it was in the video. It's someone's real name. And yeah, anyway, let's transmit a bit more science from low around Duna. And we've done all that science, so we shall get Jebediah coming out to get a few more reports. Oxygen and stuff is depleted because tactile life support is still kind of broken. I need to update that, but I don't think they've updated the mod yet, which is kind of annoying because well, it's fine because even when your oxygen's depleted and everything, you still have about 3 hours on EVA, and I'm not going to spend more than 3 hours on EVA, and that's probably more realistic to life. Usually you get about 12 hours of life support. But anyway, I need to go and grab the science from the materials bay. This is finally slowed down because most of this is 4 times time accelerated, but I slowed it down for a nice, graceful, terrible frame rate EVA. Anyway, I need to grab the mystery goo containment unit. I've just noticed my mouse is still off. I haven't recorded I usually turn I always turn fraps off from recording my mouse when I'm recording Operation Black Hawk because you don't want a mouse in that. It's cinematic. And I haven't turned it back on. It's been ages since I've recorded Operation Black Hawk. There's another episode I've got to edit. It's just like, I've been doing a lot of things, and, well, I wasn't worrying about my results until today, and then I got them, and now I'm even more worried. Yeah, kids, if you're watching, kids, I'm a kid. If you're watching this and if you're going to go into AS levels next year, or whatever, if you're doing something next year involving education, and the teachers tell you to work hard, and you're like, I'm smart, work hard. Didn't get the grades I wanted. It should be fine. But yeah, do work hard because they know what they're talking about, and it's not really about how intelligent you are, it's about how hard you work, and then you'll get what you want. Yeah, my results weren't great. But that's not what this video is about. But yeah, that's my little motivational message of the day. Anyway, um, we need to do some things. Oh, I've turned the kethane scanner on because I want to search for kethane. I want a Mars base. I mean a Duna base. Um, yeah, there's some kethane right there, so that's where I'll land if ever I make a base. That probe is designed to go into a polar-ish orbit to scan for kethane. And there's Ike. Something weird happens with Ike because it's not in a circular orbit, and you'll see it in a bit. It's rather fascinating. Fascinating if you're a nerd like me. Um, but you're watching these videos, so you're probably a nerd like me, which is good. It's not bad to be a nerd. It's perfect to be a nerd. Perfect? I don't know. I'm terrible choice of words. It's semi-late. Anyway, the solar panels are extended, and we are now in position for deorbiting around Duna and landing safely. But again, something weird happens with Ike. Basically, Ike drops down now in its orbit, and we encounter it, which wasn't foreseen because Ike is moving in space, and that leaves the Duna Explorer in orbit around Ike. I'm thinking, yeah, free Ike encounter. Anyway, I thought it was a glitch, so I did reload just there, but it wasn't. It was just simply that Ike is lowering in its orbit, and we're getting closer to it. And Ike has a very big sphere of influence, and the Duna Explorer will come out of that in a bit because it's not a perfect physics engine, so it doesn't fully know what it's talking about, which is kind of worrying. But anyway, I'll reposition this. I have tons of fuel, and I don't really need it for landing, but it would be useful. Anyway, yeah, there. I need to now move the Duna Explorer so it doesn't smash into Duna, because it would be really great if I didn't kill all of these Kerbals. They'd quite like to return home with the science. Yeah, it wouldn't look good. The government probably would stop funding us if our first interplanetary mission went horribly wrong. Actually, in fairness, the first Apollo test went wrong and they kept funding it, so it'd be fine. Yeah, let them smash into Duna. No, I want the science. Anyway, it's time to land on Duna for the first. This is the first landing on a. Is it? I want to say it's the first landing on an extraterrestrial body in this series, which is worrying. This is slightly off balance, so I can't burn at full power or it just dies. It has a lot of electric charge, so it can descend through the tenuous atmosphere of Duna without losing all of its electric charge. That's how I build my probes, to get to the surface. But yeah, getting science on the way down. I have to be careful because I'm going to get science. I can't use that mystery. I can't really get low atmosphere science because I don't have all the equipment, which kind of sucks. But it's fine. I'll come back some other time to get more science. I'm already getting quite a lot out of this, and those ridges are really nice. Anyway, I'm just going to set the parachute so it opens earlier because because it's a very thin atmosphere, so you want to be going as slowly as possible. And I'm getting various bits of data. But it spins round and I lose engine control and we come down kind of horribly, and I will slow this down in a bit so you can kind of see real time, because this is at 4 times time accelerator, of course. And now it slows down. This is what I saw. Trying to land, and I'm coming down really hard as well, so it kind of slams into the surface and just rolls. Kind of litho braking. Well, that's how the first Mars rover landed, so it's called True to Life. Geez, I obviously planned this. But nothing breaks except one solar panel, but I don't care about one solar panel. I'm a man. That somehow makes me not care about solar panels. Anyway, it rolls for a while, and this was kind of horrible. I was like, oh, please don't break. As long as it kind of holds together and I can get the science, I don't care too much. 200 science, that is nice. And the mystery goo. 80 science, pretty nice. And I'll take the reusable experiments when I get a Kerbal down here. Basically, what I'm going to do now is bring a Kerbal down here, hopefully land closely and grab that science. I'll be more careful landing the Kerbal, don't worry. But anyway, that's pretty nicely down. I'll extend the panel so it remains powered through the long Duna days, long Duna nights as well. If it's anything like real world, it'll be the same as roughly the same as a Kerbin day and a Kerbin night, because I think. Anyway, screw that. It's on to a new mission. I need more science for more things, and it's time to go to the moon. And I'm going to use a different moon vehicle now and a newish launch vehicle. This is in reusability setup. I will hopefully be reusing that first stage, and maybe even that second stage, but I'm not sure because it's a new experimental vehicle. This is clacky knuckles. I've got to stop doing that in videos. But anyway, this is the Triton 2, which is roughly capable of lifting around 30 tons to low Kerbin orbit, whereas Triton 1, the usual reusable vehicle, can lift about 20. So it is a significant improvement. So we'll ditch that. Just move this off, orientate this perfectly, not perfectly, roughly in the right direction, and then get this into orbit. Ooh, what I did just see recently is on the SpaceX YouTube channel, they have a video of the first stage landing, not the first video they did, the one where a plane has followed it and you literally see it descending and landing on the ocean. It's very cool. Anyway, we must put this in a nice-ish orbit. It doesn't really matter what kind of orbit, but hopefully just kind of fairly circular, and not in the atmosphere would be good. And then I can go to the moon. This is where this is bound for. Something stuck to my foot. God damn it. Poster fell down. Got stuck to my foot. Anyway, the first stage needs to be reused. This is slowed down because it's interesting. I think I have returned one before to no success. Hopefully this will remain stable and not burn up in the atmosphere. That'll be good. I'm going to start setting the translatron to kill my surface velocity, so when I'm in the right position it will land hopefully softly on the ocean. It's kind of difficult to get back to normal land. I was landing on the other piece of land, but now that's not really in the parameters of the game. You want to land as close to the Kerbal Space Center as possible, and that is very difficult. It's hard to redirect yourself if you, like, when you don't have any time to do anything because you're racing into orbit. It's the same reason I can't use boosters, because you can't really reuse multiple things in Kerbal Space Program. But anyway, it's looking alright, it's holding stable, but then it starts slipping off to the side and starts just kind of falling apart and coming down sideways and coming down very hard, and then it breaks apart, which is not good. So we lost that, which isn't great. But anyway, back in orbit, and the fairings are stuck on the solar panels. So it breaks one of the solar panels, and I still have one left, so it's fine. We don't have to abort the mission. And this is my newish spacecraft. Well, it is a brand new spacecraft. I've never used it ever. And it is destined to go to the moon. It's using the reason this is good is it's a single stage lander, which isn't hard to do. But my other lander, which took lots of science to the surface, was a 2-stage lander, which I do very much like, but it's not particularly efficient, and it leaves stuff on the surface, which I actually quite like, leaving stuff on the surface. But whatever, that's besides the point. Anyway, I just used up the last of that stage because I'm not going to bother reusing it, because that was not in the parameters of the mission. This is the actual transfer stage, and this should be able to go to multiple biomes, but it doesn't on this mission because I kind of have not quite enough fuel. On Minmus it definitely will, but so could the other spacecraft, the Morpheus 4. This is Morpheus 5. I did quite like Morpheus 4 because of the way it kind of had a 2-stage landing. Well, they had a 1-stage landing and then another stage for taking off, which was quite cool, and it left all the science on the surface. But this returns everything to Kerbin, except the transfer stage. That flies off into an annoying orbit. The transfer stages on Apollo actually flew off into orbits around the Sun. So there are lots of Saturn V third stages around the Sun. So that's cool, I guess. Anyway, and you can see there's lots of Kethane. I actually did want to do a Kethane mission, but what I'm working on now is just bigger parts, so I can start actually sending big crafts to the surface of the moon and Minmus, so that I can start actually having a fuel base, that sort of thing. Anyway, I'm going to get myself into it. I've left this sped up because you've seen it lots of times, and it's the same sort of thing. I'm going to put myself in a nice orbit. That stage burns out, which is fine. It's in a pretty good orbit. I think the crater below me is where I want to land. Something weird's going on with the science. I think some of the experiments have reset in the update. I'm not sure, but I'm not complaining because science is good. But I'm not sure. I may be incorrect. Although a lot of the experiments have stayed kind of as if they've been what's the word? Like just unchanged. So like I don't really know how to explain this. Basically, it looked like all the experiments had reset to me for a while, so I was worried that I was just going to be able to duplicate all the experiments. But it turns out that's apparent for some of them, but not all of them. I'll look into it, I guess. Anyway, that crater there, as you can kind of see, has no flags in it. Therefore, I have not landed in it, and therefore I shall land in it and mine all the science I can get. Yeah, this is the same. This has the same science payload as the Morpheus 4, but I think it carries a little more fuel. But that's fine, because it's a 1-stage lander, so it's better. That's just how you want it, really. It's not hard to do a one-stage lander and return on the moon, but my Morpheus 4 wasn't, just because of aesthetics more than anything else. I do inefficiently slow down here because I don't want to land in that crater, which means I can't really hop to other biomes, which kind of sucks. But it's fine, really. Anyway, I'll just grab science on the way down. But most of the science will be done on the surface. But yeah, anyway, we need to touch down. I will slow it down because I got quite a jumpy landing because I wanted to land at near zero velocity. I always like to do that just for kind of aesthetics, really. But I always kind of screw it up. And I'm not going to bother using the translatron because that's just too far, using too much MacJab. But anyway, about to touch down, and yeah, we're quite high above the surface. And this is wasting fuel, but it looks nice, and I'm not too worried about jumping to other biomes, although it would be good. And I haven't done the seismic tests in a lot of the biomes, so I do need to do that. But anyway, we touched down quite nicely, but we will see all the science and the rest of the things and more Duna stuff in the next episode. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, consider dropping it a like. This has been KSP with Tape. I will see you next time.